Live at 5. This is SNN, the Suncoast News Network, your local news leader.
Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Wilson, filling in for Don Brennan. Thanks for joining us here on the SNN Evening Edition. I'll get to your stories in just a moment, but first, a look outside on this Monday afternoon. Justin Mosley, our chief meteorologist, has your Weather Authority forecast. Justin?
All right, thanks there, Eric, and good evening, everybody. Here we are at the 5 o'clock hour on this Monday. It's nice and warm outside. Readings upper 70s and lower 80s at the coastline. Not too bad of a day. 81 Sarasota, now 79 degrees in Bradenton. Along the coastline, you are cooler. The sea breeze doing its job. 75 degrees Boca Grande, 78 at Inglewood, but a toasty 87-degree reading right now out in Arcadia. Our dew points have come up. This is our best direct measurement of the moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere. 67, somewhat humid. You can feel it as you step out the door this afternoon. Just a few scattered clouds. We've noted a few showers in central Florida near Orlando, but that's just about it. Our future track model for your Tuesday to get the day started. Patchy areas of fog, can see that. We'll mix out. Beautiful afternoon for your Tuesday, getting you through the work week here. Week front will drop in on Wednesday, and that will give us a few extra clouds, and then lower humidity values will come in from the north. Taking hour by hour at 8 o'clock, 75 degrees, midnight 70, nice and mild for this evening. We'll look ahead with our Weather Authority 7-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Justin. Now, with spring break approaching for Sarasota and Hillsborough, you'll probably see With spring break approaching, you'll probably want to be aware of red tide in the area and the risk that comes with it. SNN's Sydney Roll has the details.
There are a lot of people coughing here at Siesta Beach. I've only been here for a few minutes and my throat is already starting to feel irritated as well. Red tide is affecting both marine life and people here on the Suncoast.
I've never been to Siesta Key, so I came to Sarasota, had breakfast. I could tell I was coughing. I had to use my inhaler just as soon as I got out of my little car.
Siesta Beach is seeing dead fish washed ashore. When red tides travel inshore, the most common symptoms people experience are an itchy throat and coughing, especially for those with underlying lung diseases.
I was diagnosed with asthma last year, so I'm like staying away from the beach, and that was not what I expected at all.
Swimmers may experience skin or eye irritation. Siesta Beach isn't the only place red tide has taken over on the Suncoast. Sarasota's Bayfront Park is seeing large amounts of red tide as well. As spring break approaches for schools around the country, this is affecting business for many cruises and boat tours.
At this time of the year is probably the worst time to get it, having it being right at the height of season. People are canceling, so our number of passengers has gone down dramatically. We've cut back on the number of cruises that we're doing. As soon as we're underway, you can hear the people coughing. And most people go, wow, we didn't really realize it was that bad.
According to Sarasota County, it's recommended that beachgoers avoid going in the water during these conditions. In Sarasota, I'm Sydney Rell, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
Now, most blooms last 3 to 5 months. However, they can continue for up to 18 months. A pair of deadly weekend motorcycle crashes claimed the lives of two 20-year-olds from Sarasota. One happened Saturday night around 6:30. Troopers say a Jeep driven by a 31-year-old woman was westbound on Bee Ridge Road approaching I-75, while the motorcyclist was eastbound. The SUV attempted to make a left turn onto the interstate entrance ramp, but the front of the bike struck the side of the vehicle. The 20-year-old sustained critical injuries and was pronounced dead at the hospital. The crash remains under investigation. The second crash, also killing a 20-year-old motorcyclist, happened Saturday afternoon just after 1 p.m. The Sarasota man was riding westbound on Clark Road near Sawyer when a 67-year-old Sarasota woman driving an SUV traveling eastbound turned left in front of him. The two collided and the motorcyclist was gravely injured. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead again. This accident is also being investigated and the speed of the motorcycle is also being looked into in this case. Organizers of a family-friendly drag show were forced to move venues this weekend over fears of a proposed state bill. Michelle Meredith reports from Kissimmee.
For the last 6 years, the Rose Dynasty Foundation has held a fundraiser, a pageant featuring drag queens as they vie for the title of Miss Rose Dynasty. It's billed as a family-friendly event children are welcome, considered a safe space for everyone.
The whole family can sit down and enjoy it. And while doing that, they're hearing a message about love and acceptance.
But originally set to be staged at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center Saturday night, the Rose Dynasty recently had to find another place. A proposed state bill says the state could revoke an establishment's license if they admit a child to an adult live performance. The performance described in part as something that depicts or simulates nudity, sexual excitement, lewd exposure of imitation genitals or breast, and predominantly appeals to shameful or morbid interest. Jason DeShazo says their drag show pageant does none of that.
And we're not adult entertainment. Everything is appropriate for all ages. Everyone is fully clothed. There's no sexualizing, no sex acts, anything like that. It's all age appropriate. And I believe it's a witch hunt. I believe they're trying to find things to go after people who are different than them, people who think different than them.
Concerned they might lose their license, the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center says they tried to get clarification from the state what age child they're talking about. But when they couldn't, the Rose Dynasty Foundation rebooked the pageant to another venue. Now, we talked to people, and some folks agreed with the state, saying they do not think children should go to any kind of drag performance, but others disagreed.
I think that decision should be left up to the parents of the children themselves. It's not for one group of people or for one person to decide how each individual should raise their children.
But in the end, for the Miss Rose Dynasty pageant, the show did go on. In Orange County, Michelle Meredith, WESH 2 News.
Now, this show comes days after Tennessee became the first state this year to restrict drag show performances. The new law now limits adult cabaret performances on public properties so as to shield them from the view of children, threatening violators with a misdemeanor and repeat offenders with a felony. Well, Bradenton police said they are looking for 3 men involved in a home invasion that happened early Friday morning. The Bradenton Police Department said about 7:45 a.m., 3 men wielding firearms entered a home at the cottage of San Cascanile off of 48th Street Court East and ransacked the residence, stealing jewelry, cash, and a cell phone. According to the department, 2 adults and 3 children were in the home at the time of the robbery. However, no one was seriously hurt. The suspects, described as black males, wore black clothing, mask, and gloves. One suspect armed with a semi-automatic handgun and another suspect was armed with an AK pistol. The suspects left by unknown means and in an unknown direction and yelled "blue" as they fled. If you have any information, please call the Bradenton Police Department at 941-932-9300 or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-634-8477. Now, one of the largest affordable housing projects broke ground today in Bradenton. SNN's Brianna Boskert has the story.
570 units of affordable housing will soon be home to countless Manatee County residents.
2024, we will have this 42 acres develop. It will look much, much different than it does today.
A report by real estate data company Stessa found the Sarasota-Bradenton metro area is the 14th most expensive in the country.
District 2 is one of the underserved areas of Manatee County. It's really centrally located, but we suffer from a huge lack of affordable housing.
The developer, Lincoln Avenue Capital, closed on the financing for the 301 Flats and the Savoy at 301 in February.
These properties will add 324 units of affordable housing for families and individuals and 208 units of senior housing, respectively. Both will be reserved for those earning more than 60% of the area median income.
The 301 Flats will include 13 3-story apartment buildings and have a fitness center, pool, and a playground. The Savoy at 301 will be a 4-story mid-rise building with a community room, cards and crafts room, and a grilling area.
To welcome 570 units of dedicated affordable housing is a really great opportunity.
A soft loan from Manatee County will cover $4.5 million in impact fees.
I think Manatee County has shown to everyone, whether it be Lincoln or others, that we're open for business. We want to work together. We want to be good stewards and good partners with people like yourselves to make sure these projects come out of the ground.
Reporting in Manatee County, Brianna Boskert, SNN, the Suncoast News Network.
Now, the first phase of the project is expected to be completed in 2024. The second phase will wrap up by the end of 2025. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons shows there is an increase in the number of people getting plastic surgery. The number of plastic surgery procedures is increasing by over 40%. Sarasota's Plastic Surgery Center has seen an increase in their business from an unexpected demographic.
I would say that there are a lot of younger patients that are coming in nowadays. Years ago, plastic surgery used to be for rich and famous people or older patients, and nowadays we're really seeing that the demand for plastic surgery for younger patients has really increased.
Continue to increase. Now, coming up on the evening edition of SNN, FLA Justice Brown Jackson is getting a street named in her honor. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.